Yep, this is my plate number 15. So, what is this? This is the new mask I made tonight, which it's a little hot after a while. But if you go to your local Dollar Tree and look for this multi-purpose bandana that can be worn several different ways. See how many ways? 6 different ways. And this one right up here, see how she's wearing a mask? Well, you can take this because it's sewn as in 2 pieces together as one. And you can take your little scrunchie like I did and tie off both ends. And that leaves you a good covering. Okay. Then take another scrunchie like this to hook over your ear, and then you have a mask. So, and it's inexpensive. It's $1. Well, the scrunchies may not be, but if you want to be real technical, you could sew it so you don't have to use the scrunchies. Let's do a rundown of my day. I worked today, but before I worked, I got up extremely early thanks to my grandfather. He wanted me to get in contact with the man that somebody had informed me could come and help sharpen his blades on his lawnmower. So I give this man a call. He doesn't answer. I leave a voicemail. Okay. So then let's go on throughout my day. I work. While I'm working, it was just like constant nonstop stuff. I could hear. I had approached Grandpa before work about getting someone to come out and work on the stove. See, here's what has happened. I replaced the light bulb inside the stove. Apparently, you're not supposed to screw them all the way in. Who would have thought that, okay? Don't you want it to be secure and not touching your food? I do. Anyway, you're not supposed to screw it all the way in there. I got it in there too tight, so therefore the little part that holds the actual bulb is broke off inside the stove. Well, needless to say, me and him both have gotten shocked a couple of times trying to readjust that thing and get it outside the stove. So he came up with this wise idea that I'm not baking tonight, but tomorrow after work, we're going to turn off the electricity and we're going to dig that thing out. God help us. I've wanted to call somebody. He doesn't want to do it. He wants to do it ourselves and save some cash. It just has disaster written all over it. Anyway, let's do some good news. I don't know if y'all watch the Hallmark Channel, but they wanted to give away 1 million cards in their, whose day will you brighten up kind of thing right here. And I went ahead and I said, you know what, that sounds like a good initiative. So they send this little letter here, and it says, with everything that's happening right in the world right now, one of the best things you can do to help others is simply reach out. Whether it's a family member in elder care, a new mom next door, or friends you're missing like crazy, you can make sure that they know you're thinking about them. Tell them you're not alone. Send warm words of encouragement. Show them their love, because there's no better time than now to put more care in the world. Hallmark. Use the care enough to show how you're connecting and caring for others. And follow more stories at hallmark.com/careenough. And they do give you some nice cards that you can give with envelopes. The cards are massive. Look at these massive envelopes. And it says, good mail. I think more companies should do stuff like this, honestly. Then, of course, I like this one. There's a surprising amount of love in this folded piece of paper. And it's all for you. Good mail does good things. Learn more at hallmark.com. Good mail. I don't like that one too much. I may give that one to my mom, but there was another one here. Where's it at? Here it is. Good mail. Here for you. Here for everything. We'll get through this. Now, what I mean by give that card to my mom, she can give it to somebody else who might enjoy it. So, that's what I meant by that. Anyway, Of course, Grandpa waited all day for somebody to come fix his mower. And that's all I've heard all day is the mower, the mower, the mower. So finally, somebody showed up. We don't know who really informed him to show up. We don't know where he came from because Grandpa has been known to call a lot of people to come fix the situation. And we had asked several people for them to come and help the situation. So somehow or other, some man showed up to come work on his mower. And then after he does that, some other man calls the house and says he's ready to come on over and work on the mower. Grandpa goes, no, I already got somebody. So it's like a mass confusion again. So we have that going on. And then after work, we went out to the Dollar Tree. Now we're going to get back to that multi-purpose bandana situation. When I went out there the other day, the little girl had told me about this, but I thought, I'm not going to worry about it. But then I thought, after I read the news and read that our local hospital has got 2 COVID cases right now, I thought, yeah, I'm going to worry about it. So that's why I had ordered myself masks, but they haven't got here yet. And I thought, well, for $1, I'll do it. So I've got my first mask. I told you about that. Oh, this is a good way to spread cheer. Y'all have seen the bag back here that I had for Miss Wanda full of books. And also I gave her a can of beef stew, some applesauce, and some chocolate pudding today because I can't bake. So I had to give something she could gnaw on because I like to give a little treat along with the books. That way they have something to eat while they read. And they're getting nutrition, at least. I know they're getting nutrition that way. So it made my heart feel better after work when I got this text message to tell me, you're so kind to stop and think of me, not only with the books, but with the provisions you provide. Whether it's food or thoughtfulness, you're just so kind. And wear your mask. 2 employees have it now. So, it feels good to do that for someone else. It's rewarding in itself to help someone that may not be able to go out and buy books to read or go to the library to rent a book right now. It's rewarding, and it's giving the joy of reading, the happiness of reading, and to someone else. I have started reading another book. It is very good and comical. I love that. A little comedy with your romance. And it's Lisa Renee Jones, The Truth About Cowboys. It was out last year, but it was one of the last finds I got at Goodwill before they closed. Oh, you don't know how much I miss that store. Anyway, not much to say tonight other than that. And that's, some good mixed with the bad, but that's the way life is. And I don't have a book review to do for you tonight. I don't feel like singing. I just feel like sleeping. That's how old I am. But I probably will go in the front room. I'm not going downstairs and do the bike right now. The basement is extremely cold. And I feel like with Grandpa keeping the hot temperatures in this house anywhere from 77 to 80 degrees, I would be setting myself up for the virus. So I thought, well, as long as I do a little bit of dancing and some weights in the front room until I feel safe enough and it warms up, hopefully, then I can get back downstairs to the bike. So I have been taking a time out from that, so I felt like sharing that as well. Boy, that storm, I can't say enough about that storm yesterday. It did so much damage in such little time. Our trash receptacles, if you will, were knocked over like crazy. I had to go out and fish them out. One was in between the railroad tracks of all things, so we had a pretty strong wind. And then if that wasn't good enough, of course everything in the backyard was scattered about. I had to pick it all up, and it knocked me off my work line. And I work from home, so I had to call the office and tell them. And then after that, had to keep trying to get back on. And finally, when I did get back on, it's 7 o'clock at night when I'm supposed to be off work, and here I'm taking calls. So that storm was just horrendous. And I had ordered something. This is what happened today. I had ordered something off of eBay, and it was due here by today. It hadn't come. And I noticed the seller hadn't shipped it. And I was so happy, so impressed with it. But you know what? They say some things happen for some reasons and unanswered prayers and all that jazz, right? Well, it was some earrings for my niece, and they said on there were $60 earrings, and I was so proud of myself that I got them for $5. Never used, still in the box. Well, the lady had changed her mind about selling, or so she said. So she said, I'll give you your money back. And trust me, I checked my PayPal account, the money's back in there. So sometimes things can be too good to be true, but in the end, there's a silver lining when you get your money back. So with that being said, and don't worry, the Easter Bunny's gonna come see her. Trust me. I got plenty of goodies, and I'm all about the holidays when it comes to the holidays. So that's the way it goes. But I better get my oven fixed because I'm gonna be making those brownies with the green frosting and the chocolate eggs with the Peeps to make it look like they're having the bird's eggs in the grass. Makes no sense, but that's the way it goes. Anyway, my wonderful life, that's the story of it. Not much else to share at this point in time. You know, we all do get down and out and depressed over, some stupid little thing here and there, but you just got to put a smile on and go forward sometimes, even if there's days or moments you just want to break down and cry. Just got to keep forging forward. I know tomorrow is Good Friday, and I hope that everyone takes a moment during this holiday, and I want you to do one thing. Not only be grateful and thankful for what you have, but do something nice for someone else. It can be give them a card to let them know that you're thinking of them, homemade or bought. It can be taking a moment of your time to make a phone call. You don't know how many smiles you provide with one moment of caring and kind consideration. You could take one moment and just maybe have the kids, while they're at home, color a picture to give the elderly. Maybe go ahead and, bake a treat and give it to someone right now. And I know that maybe they'd say that's not the best thing to do, but you know what? The best loving has always come from the oven in my book. When you want to say that you care, there's no kinder way to do that than from your own oven, and I miss doing that. So, take a moment, just a moment of kindness, and pass it on. Take a moment of hope and pass it on. I hope that's what you do, more than anything. And, if you, really feeling generous, with all these new shopping rules they got going on at these stores, maybe if you just take the extra mile and say, hey, what can I go get you, so you don't have to go out there and face the crowd such it is. They don't understand this 6 feet apart. I mean, they don't understand, stand behind that blue line. Or, you have to have your person walking with you has to be 6 feet behind you. But, I seen on the news the other night where if they're sneezing and they're jogging, where do you think that stuff's going to go? Behind you. So they're in the direct line of fire. So they wanted people to start jogging side by side. Maybe we need to use a little common sense here, because if they're an older person or a person with medical needs that is used to someone walking side by side, and then here you're like going, oh no, you have to walk behind them? It's not very smart. Think about that. With that being said, happy Good Friday. Enjoy yourselves, but be responsible. Practice your social distancing. Practice washing your hands. That doesn't stop. When they hear about all of these things being canceled, from the Decatur celebration to the July 4th celebration up there at Champaign, you wonder what's next. There's a lot of celebrations out there. And, some of these people are, I think it's California that said they're not going back to school until November. Where Florida, they're thinking about reopening some of the schools, county by county. I don't think that's wise. We don't know what we're dealing here with. They don't have a vaccination. They don't have any medication for this. They only have assumptions and good guesses. So unless there's a surefire way to deal with the coronavirus, we're playing Russian roulette with all these kids that you want to send back to school, Florida. Just saying. I just want us all to be very cautious during this time. Sometimes overly cautious, and it's just for everybody's well-being. But most definitely make sure you're taking care of the elderly and the disabled and the ones that need your help the most right now. And they may not ask for it because they're too prideful, but you've got to give in order to receive. Please remember that. It's not just for Christmas. And if we could make Christmas 365 days a year, can you imagine the world we live in? I know I keep saying that I'm going to leave you, but now I will. Love you all. God bless.